An Israeli airstrike on a residential building in central Gaza leaves at least 20 dead, while fighting on the ground rages on.
Russia steps up missile attacks across Ukraine as the Kremlin rules out talk of peace on Kyiv's terms.
6 teenagers in France are convicted for their roles in the beheading of teacher Samuel Paty while outside his school in 2020. An Israeli airstrike on a residential building in central Gaza has killed at least 20 people. Due to the fighting, emergency teams could only reach the bodies by Friday afternoon, after which they were bagged and taken to the Al-Aqsa hospital. Elsewhere, the Palestine Red Crescent said its teams were working inside the Al-Amal hospital in Khan Yunis after Israeli strikes hit a house near the medical facility. Footage shot by a Red Crescent volunteer shows the scenes of chaos inside. In this Khan Yunis camp, a freezing winter is just one worry among 1,000 others.
وين بدي اروح في اولادي وين بدي اروح في اغراضي كل منطقه بطلع فيها بروح بجيب فرشات بجيب حرامات بجيب مخدات بجيب اغراض مطبخ بجيب كل شيء وفي الاخر بطلع في المنطقه اللي انا فيها بسيب اغراضنا فيها وبنطلع.
The Israeli army has released a video purporting to show its troops in a school in the Sheikh Jaya neighborhood of Gaza City. Whether it's from the ground or from the air, Israel's offensive is showing no signs of easing up after 2 months of war.
Ukraine's capital is in the firing line once again. For the first time in over 2 months, Kyiv was a target of Russian attacks which left 2 dead. It comes as Russia stepped up attacks in cities across Ukraine, including Kharkiv.
Когда я по стеклам по этим побежала, уже не видела. За эту кошку я так и думала, что она погибла здесь уже. Но смотрю, я так обрадовалась, что она потом пришла. Я говорю, слава богу, мы живы. Я думала, что уже все, это конец.
Residential areas of Kherson right bank settlements also reported heavy shelling. A Kremlin spokesperson said peace talks on Kyiv's terms were totally unrealistic.
Никто не хотят, чтобы Россия пошла на переговоры на условиях Киева в 2024 году. Как считаете, вообще насколько реалистично такое пожелание? Нереалистично абсолютно.
Ukraine's defense ministry said that in total, Russia carried out 30 group strikes with precision weapons and drones this week.
Six teenagers in France have been convicted for their roles in the beheading of a teacher by an Islamic extremist 3 years ago. Samuel Paty, a history and geography teacher, was killed in October 2020 near his school in a Paris suburb after messages spread online that he'd shown his class cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad. His killer was an 18-year-old of Chechen origin who had become radicalized. He was shot dead by police. All were handed brief or suspended prison terms and said they didn't know the teacher would be killed.
Spain's economy minister Nadia Calviño. She's just been named as the new head of the European Investment Bank. When she takes over on the 1st of January, she'll become the first woman to hold the post. As the bloc's lending arm, the bank has grown in importance since Russia's war in Ukraine, with the top job attracting some of the biggest names in European politics, including Denmark's Margrethe Vestager. The EU Competition Commissioner had to step down temporarily to run for the job. She'd been the front-runner until Calviño pipped her to the post.
The iconic Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris is set to reopen its doors in 1 year after being destroyed by a fire in 2019. The announcement was made from the top of the newly rebuilt spire by French President Emmanuel Macron.
Ce 8 décembre est un moment très important parce qu'il marque une date, 1 an avant que Notre-Dame de Paris ne soit rendue au culte et aux visites. Et c'est très émouvant de se retrouver là 1 an avant. Vous voyez l'avancée extraordinaire des travaux, de cette nef du chœur, et les charpentes et de la flèche.
Macron said that the Pope will be invited to the inauguration. The French president also announced the creation of a Notre Dame museum and that a contest will decide the design of the stained glass windows.